Hello everyone，多謝大家繼續收看啦，嚟到我哋今日第13日嘅日日講女人嘅18 Days Challenge. Today we have Wendy K Laidlaw with us, and Wendy K is the expert of EndoBoss, and very happy to have her to tell us 5 signals that we have to pay attention to our womb's needs. So 咁咧今日咧 Wendy 咧係會同我哋分享咧 Wendy 佢本身係一位作家嚟嘅，咁佢寫嗰本書咧係關於自然療法咧，係因為佢自己本身咧經過咗好多問題，佢差唔多死過好多次嘅，因為子宮啊又有好多問題啦。咁咧佢後來咧就出咗一本書，佢將自己咧喺自然療愈咗成個過程咧，亦都有一套方法咧可以同大家分享。咁佢嗰本書咧喺亞馬遜嗰度咧係銷量第一嘅。咁咧所以今日好榮幸咧得到咧 Wendy 嚟同我哋做分享嘅。咁我哋今日會提出5點，如果你個身體係有呢一啲 signal 嘅時候咧，你就要 pay attention 去留意下你自己嘅子宮嘅狀況同埋你自己身體嘅狀況。咁 Wendy 都會提出一啲簡單啲嘅 solution 咧，可以俾大家嘅。咁今日分享即刻開始。All right, Wendy, I'm going to translate what you said.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, please give me 5 tips. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I always say I'm the best in the world at helping women heal their endometriosis naturally. So that is my area of expertise and what I help women with. So some indicators is perhaps they're not, their body is not as healthy as it could be, or their uterus, or it starts with their menstrual cycle, the pain that they're having with their menstrual cycle. If you're having any form of pain, whether it be at menstruation, ovulation, or anything like that, then that is a sign your body's trying to communicate with you, trying to say to you that there's something wrong inside. And that's where you can take a closer look at some other areas like your food, your products, your environment, things like that. But pain would be the first one I would say. That's a sign that there's something wrong in the body.
OK， 咁 Wendy 啱啱就講到咧，佢咧係幫即係女性咧，專門幫女性咧解決呢一啲問題，亦都係幫咗好多人好多年噶啦。咁佢話咧，第一個最 significant 咧就係咧我哋個月經週期啦。咁如果呢個月經週期開始係譬如話即係唔係好準時啊，或者係有痛咧，咁咧呢一個就係你要開始 pay attention 嘅第一點啦。Right.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very impressed by your translation. That's awesome.
I can't remember everything, but I just grabbed the thing I can remember and translate it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. So what did I say for number 2? What was my number 2 that I said earlier?
Number 2, we talk about blockages.
Yeah, as in, and what, we're talking kind of signs and symptoms in your body that, that things aren't right. So your body's always giving you signs. We just need to learn how to read the signs and how to interpret them. Like if you went to a foreign land, you didn't know the landscape and you don't know the language, you get a guide to teach you about the landscape and the language, and then you learn, because that's your body, then you learn about why the body's showing all these different signs, whether it's skin conditions or whether it's infertility or whether it's cysts or fibroids or adenomyosis. You start to learn what is inhibiting your body's natural immune system, because if you have a healthy immune system, then your body's going to support you, whether it's fertility or whether it's improving your skin and things like that as well.
咁咧第2點咧，我哋就要學識咧讀懂我哋嘅身體嘅狀況啦，我哋嘅免疫能力啦。因為咧，譬如我哋有 skin 有 rashes 啊，有皮膚敏感啊，或者係有有啲水瘤啊，有啲唔正常，即係少少唔係好正常嘅，其實咧都係你身體俾你嘅一個 signal 嚟嘅。我哋要學識去了解，或者即係唔好當好小事啫，唔好理佢啦。因為咧好多時係呢啲好似好小事，皮膚敏感啊，或者少少水瘤啊呢啲事情裡面咧。我哋就當冇事發生，其實咧已經係一個signal， 又或者係 heavy bleeding， 或者你其實呢個正常嘅月經週期咧係2到3日 minimum 係冇阻塞，唔會有痛嘅應該。如果痛咧，其實就已經開始係有少少 signal， 大家要 pay attention 啦。
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. We're not supposed to be in pain as women. We're supposed to have a 2 to 3 day light menstrual cycle, no clots, no dragging, no breast tenderness, no headaches, none of these pain and signs and symptoms. So once you start to have signs and symptoms, write them down as they're happening and start to build up a picture, and then you increase your awareness about them as well. The next one is obviously emotions. Your emotions are messengers. Your emotions are a good indicator as to kind of what's also going on subconsciously in your relationships, in your work, in your environment, and things like that as well. And again, by writing these things down, you start to increase your awareness and on a subconscious level as well.
Yeah， 咁咧第三點咧就係講緊我哋 emotion level， 就係講我哋情緒嗰個轉變啊，即係譬如我哋突然間會覺得好唔開心啊，或者覺得有一啲係有一啲壓抑啊嘅情況咧，如果當你覺得係咁樣咧，其實都有可能已經會直接影響到你身體健康狀況，所以咧我哋作為一個女強人咧，一個真正識得愛自己 strong woman 咧，要 pay attention to 自己嗰個 emotional 嗰個 changes， 所以呢一點係第三點嚇，除咗 physical signal 之外。
Absolutely. Well, strong women are, by definition, are awake and aware and alert to their body, but they pay attention. Invariably, strong women are so busy thinking about other women or their children or their husbands or their family and their work colleagues and their clients that they forget to pay attention to themselves, or they feel guilty or they feel bad. So a strong woman, by definition, we have an analogy here where it's about putting your oxygen mask on first. If the plane was going down, if you're in an airplane, it starts to go down, the oxygen masks drop from above, and they say put your own oxygen mask on first, and then put the oxygen mask off your child or whatever. And that's the same analogy for a strong woman. She has to remember to fill up her own energy, put her own oxygen mask on, listen, pay attention, write her journal, make sure she's eating well, making sure she's resting, getting good sleep, things like that. And then she'll be able to have a very healthy body and mind and emotions as well.
咁 Wendy 啱啱講到咧 strong woman 嘅定義，我哋 strong woman 嘅定義咧，因為我哋好多時咧俾晒啲 attention 啊，老公啊、仔女啊、工作啊，我哋成日將自己擺到最後，但係其實一個 strong woman 今時今日嘅定義咧，我哋要好讀懂自己嘅情緒，將呢種情緒嘅變化隨時咧寫喺一本書度，自己隨時可以拎出嚟。咁 Wendy 啱啱舉一個例子，如果我哋搭飛機嘅時候咧，如果架飛機有咩事，嗰個氧氣罩跌落嚟咧，你都係第一時間要照顧咗自己，先可以照顧其他人。所以今日 strong woman 定義除咗我哋 physical strong 或者我哋喺個 business world 裏面好 strong 之外咧，我哋要讀懂自己嘅情緒，呢個就係我哋 strong woman 新嘅定義。
Yeah. Awesome. And then I think lastly, it's taking time out in nature, remembering to breathe, remembering to take that sort of goddess time, if you like, to have a bath, to relax, to really indulge yourself so that you can lower your nervous system, because everybody's so stressed and bombarded and harassed and everything these days. So it's really remembering things like mindfulness, relaxation, meditation allows your cells to recharge. It regenerates your body's immune system, and then that ultimately literally leads you to being a strong woman.
咁咧Wendy 咧就講到咧下一 part being strong woman 咧，其實我哋都要有一個方法去將自己嘅情緒舒緩啦。譬如我哋可以寫嘢，可以去唔好忘記同大自然連結，亦都唔好忘記咧。其實 meditation 係一個冥想，好似一個冥想狀態，其實係我哋要視之為一個同自己溝通、自己連結嘅一個空間。咁咧，我哋要越係同自己連結，越係同咧個大自然連結咧，我哋就越 strong 啦。Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, do we have to before we also talk about another tip about signals, right?
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, in Western world, I think in Asian world, quite a lot of infertility. Do you think this is one of the signals that we have to pay attention to our emotional needs as well?
Absolutely. Well, again, our female body, if everything is where it should be and everything is healthy and clear of blockages or adhesions or anything like that, then we should be able to conceive at a particular time every month, that our body is preparing, releasing the eggs and allowing our body to be fertile. If infertility does show up, then it can be because of a number of different reasons. It could be because of endometriosis or a cyst or a fibroid or adenomyosis or adhesions. Adhesions are kind of like spider's web. the kind of fibrous tissue, and they can sometimes wrap around the fallopian tubes. They can prevent the eggs releasing. You can get cysts on the ovaries, you get ovarian cysts. So there can be a number of reasons why infertility happens, and or combined, their hormone levels have changed. Because in our Western world, we've got lots of what they call xenoestrogens, foreign estrogens in our environment. It means then that we've got a hormonal imbalance. So we're excess estrogen, which is one hormone, whereas we need an equal balance, if not a high level of progesterone, which is a bioidentical natural hormone, not chemical hormones, because they're not bioidentical, but natural hormones. Because if we're plentiful in progesterone, then we will again, be fertile. But if we're excess estrogen and not enough progesterone, there needs to be balance, like the scales of balance. Then again, that can cause infertility.
嗱，咁咧啱啱 Wendy 講到咧，其實我自己都有非常之多朋友咧係suffering， 即係有不育嘅問題啦。咁咧Wendy 就講到咧，其實不育問題都係有其中一個原因咧，我哋要 pay attention 嘅。因為咧頭先好似佢咁樣推翻轉頭講啦，不育有好多原因嘅，有可能係荷爾蒙問題啦，有可能係子宮內膜移位啦，有可能係好多其他食物環境啊、周遭嘅因素會影響你嘅。咁咧Wendy 自己本身咧，佢有好多學生咧，其實都係有不育問題啊，或者有其他子宮內膜移位啊嗰啲咁樣嘅問題嘅。咁咧佢都透過呢一種自然療法咧，係透過了解自己嘅情緒咧。當然咁樣講好似好快速咁樣啦，但係有好多由第一步了解自己嘅情緒開始咧，由有一啲 physical 嘅症狀到冇 physical 嘅症狀，由你 mentally 嘅症狀到你身體裏面症狀，其實全部嘢都係連成一線嘅。咁所以咧，如果你係而家都係 suffer 緊，或者係有不育問題啊，或者有頭先以上講嗰4個問題咧，你自己都要開始 pay attention 啦，或者係做多啲自己個人連結或者咩咁啊。Wendy 自己有一系列嘅課程嘅，因為佢都幫咗好多即係幫咗好多人去已經解決咗呢個問題啦。咁I think the last one, the 5th point, we talk about also about depression, and this is something we have to pay attention, especially midlife or
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what emotions are, all emotions are messengers. So depression is an emotional state. And what is depression? Depression is an overwhelming feeling of sadness, like being stuck in a well and you can't come out. If you're feeling in that well, it's either because you've gone in there because you feel like no one sees you, hears you, values you, appreciates you, loves you, and then you end up that is projected onto you, so you then take on those feelings. It could also be anger, a lot of rage and anger and fury at what you might feel powerless about. Again, this might be subconscious. It might not even be conscious. And of course, women are told not to be angry. We've got to sit and look pretty with a ribbon in our hair and not have any feelings or emotions. So depression, anxiety, fear, all these emotions are healthy, natural, normal responses to what is perhaps going on subconsciously that we're not fully aware of in our environment, our relationships and things like that. So it's very important to I think what is encouraged is you have a feeling and you want to dismiss it and then take a pill to numb it. No, because what I encourage is for strong women just to very gently, very slowly start to be curious observer of their feelings and emotions. Because remember, we are not our feelings and we're not our emotions. But if we can become the observer of them, and a nice way to become the observer of them, because it's not often easy, is to journal, is to write down the thoughts and feelings and keep it private. Don't let anyone see it. But if you can write down your thoughts and feelings and emotions, you'll start to recognize there's a lot of messages in behind them. Even depression. Depression is telling you that your wings are clipped. You should be flying like a butterfly. You should be, perhaps in a different environment, a different relationship, things like that. So these emotions are wonderful messengers as to kind of really what's going on subconsciously.
So 咁咧，啱啱 Wendy 講到咧，佢講咗好多，我唔可以全部一次過覆晒俾你聽。但係咧，第5點咧，我哋講到抑鬱嘅。如果你覺得自己有抑鬱嘅時候咧，呢一點你都要非常注意，因為咧係會嚴重影響到你自己嘅即係子宮嘅位置啦，同埋你情緒嘅。因為點解咧？好多人我哋習慣咗乜都唔可以講嘅，好多時自己嘅感受啊，乜嘢都係收埋，咁或者係食一粒藥丸，咁已經撳住咗，等自己開心 咗。咁啊 Wendy 提到咧，其實 depression 即係抑鬱咧係一個情緒咧係你個好嘅 messenger， 即係佢俾個信號俾你，等你 pay attention。咁你等呢個 pay attention， 其實今日講緊個 StrongWomen， 即係一個女強人咧。其實我哋唔係淨係咧用就咁用一個藥物去冚住咗呢件事就算啦。我哋係仲會勇於咧去打開裡面睇下呢一個盒子裏邊係裝咗啲咩，即係呢個葫蘆裡面裝咗啲咩藥喺度，係咩事令到我唔開心，係咩事令到我今日有呢個抑鬱，係咩事令到我身體唔舒服。其實身體每一個反應咧都係嚟提醒你嘅，所以咧阿 Wendy 就建議大家咧寫一本 journal， 即係意思話咧將你嘅感受，即係你嘅感覺寫低去，你都唔需要俾任何人睇，呢本書係全部屬於你。當你真正寫落嚟嘅時候，可能你會覺得好詫異，原來好多答案你已經自己寫咗出嚟，你唔需要俾人睇。但係咧Wendy 就建議你哋一個簡單嘅 tips， 每日一起身第一件事就係將你嘅 journal， 將你嘅感受去寫低，你唔需要同任何人解釋，你自己知就得啦。即係我哋話要自然療法，將自己醫翻好咧，其實我哋一定要睇到係個咩症狀，係個咩病，先可以落啲咩藥嘅。嗰個藥咧唔係淨係食嗰粒藥，而係我哋俾我哋嘅精神俾我哋嘅心靈需要咩藥。呢個就係今日嘅 StrongWomen 啦。Sorry, Wendy, I'm trying.
It's okay. I mean, I think I just kind of want to finish and say, what is strength? You know, what does a strong, what does that really emulate? And I like to use the analogy with my women that I work with is if you put a seed into good, nutritious soil and you water it and you give it sunlight, you give it everything that it needs, it grows. It will grow roots and then it will come up through the soil and throw shoots. And those shoots need strengthening by giving it all the right condition, right environment. And it's the same with strength. You know, those shoots will get stronger and stronger and stronger if they're in the right environment and they're cared for, they're watered, they're nurtured. And it's the same with being a woman. We are very intuitive, very sensitive by nature, and that actually is our strength. You know, a lot of women feel that they have to disown that sensitivity, that intuition, that wisdom, that these instincts. And I guess what I'm trying to say for me, an ultimate strong woman, is connection back to herself.
Yeah, Wendy 就講到啦，究竟咩叫係真正嘅力量咧？咩叫做真正嘅 strength？ 即係而家我哋 imagine 諗一粒種子，將佢擺落一個好靚嘅泥土裏面，你會落啲水俾佢有太陽照，咁你一路生出嚟嗰個 strength， 嗰棵樹就會好強壯、好強健，因為我哋已經係每一次都將即係嗰粒種子需要嘅嘢，我哋都俾咗佢，即係有養分啦、有太陽啦、有水啦，呢一個種子就係我哋心靈裏邊要嗰樣嘢。即係而家我哋造成我哋唔開心有問題，係因為我哋身體上或者精神上有啲嘢需要嘅 fulfill 唔到，冇呢樣嘢，所以我哋咪會生病，所以我哋會有問題。所以而家 Wendy 想講，我哋今日嘅 StrongWomen， 我哋係可以夠膽打開個盒睇下裏邊究竟係發生咩事。如果缺水啊，加啲水；如果缺養分啊，加啲養分啦。咁我哋一定要第一步讀懂自己情緒。今日嘅女強人一定要讀懂自己嘅情緒。Right, thank you.
I think you've done well.
Thank you so much. I can't translate every word you say, but it's really so much information, so much wisdom behind what you are saying. And like you said, nowadays we're trying to, get rid of it. Don't believe our own intuition, and this is one of the treasure that we should reopen and look into what is available inside. And right, so Wendy, thank you so much for today.
My pleasure.
I would like to do the last bit and encourage whoever have not registered for StrongWomen.live yet, please go ahead, because Wendy is going to share a lot more in the summit, and she's going to tell a lot more because she has got years and years of experience, and herself is a survivor of her own problem, and she writes about it. Now she become 100%, 200% strong woman, and I would love to share every bit of her experience to all of you. Please go ahead and register for StrongWomen.live summit. Thank you so much, Wendy. Any last bit of message for us before we go?
Just remember that you have so much power within you to heal your body, mind, and spirit. Always look inward rather than looking outward.
Yes, 記得睇裏邊，唔係睇出邊。Thank you so much, Wendy. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Yes. All right. Wow.